After the storm wrecked my ship, I woke up on the beach with a bunch of random animals around me. Confused, I took a look around to familiarize myself with the area. I found this tablet nearby on the ground and I picked it up. I figured the next thing to do was to explore. As I explored the island, I found another person. They gave me a warning about the grim nature of the island I was stranded on. Knowing some basic survival tips, I decided to make a base and create some tools for myself to make collecting resources easier. Looking at the tablet, I found out that the animals are called pals, and I could use technology hidden in the tablet to capture, befriend, and employ these pals. I knew I had to enlist the help of these pals to survive on this island, so I started crafting the pal spheres. The air around me was full of lamballs, cativas, and chickapees. I decided to enlist the help of a lamball first. For some reason, pals need some physical affection before they like to commit to a job, so I began whacking it with my club. Being unfamiliar with the pal sphere, I messed up my first throw, but I got used to it by the second. Capture success. What was I supposed to do with my lamball though? I picked it up in front of me, but it didn't seem to enjoy that too much. I guess I had to put it back down. From the tablet, I learned how to build a pal box, allowing me to better manage my lamball and future pals. Talking about future pals reminded me, I had to go capture more, so that's what I did. I realized that I only had a bunch of lamballs. With so many chickapees around my base, it would have been a shame not to enlist their help. I upgraded my base to increase the work positions available for my pals. While my lamball slept, I was hard at work. I made sure to make a feed box so that they never have to worry about being hungry. That night, I also made a basic shelter for myself. I crafted a bow to help me better hunt, enlist pals. With 3 pals now working at my base, I knew that the few berry plants around the area would not be enough to feed us all. So, the only thing I could think of was to build a farm. I planted and watered the crops on the farm, and as I was working on the farm, I had 2 thoughts pop into my head. This is taking too long, and it would be much nicer to have a pal do this for me. So, I journeyed a bit further from my base to find more pals. I ran into a Gomas first. It was delighted to join me. Next, I found a pair of pangolins. There's no way I would let that opportunity slip by without requesting their aid. The first one was pretty cooperative. But the second was a bit more hesitant and needed a little bit more convincing. With the Gumas and Pangolin joining my workforce, I had nothing to worry about with the farm. I figured that I had flashed my employees a bit too much, so I decided to make myself some clothes. These cremises were too cute to ignore, so I asked them to join my force as well. The Foxparks I ran into was a little more cautious and was initially against joining me, even going as far as consulting its big mammoth friend. However, after the mammoth's approval and a little bit more convincing, the Foxparks was more than willing to join. My lawn ball was getting a little too fluffy, so I built a ranch to shear some of that extra fluff off. It's a win-win situation. I prepared for my next round of recruiting by crafting a bunch of arrows. As I was exploring, I found this colorful egg. Getting a new pal that's imprinted to me? Sign me up. I managed to recruit a couple Vixies. The second Vixie needed a bit more information about the terms of employment before agreeing to stay in the Pal Sphere. The Lift Monk I ran into next had a similar skepticism about the job description. But they ultimately decided to join as well. I opened up negotiations with an Xaliter. Compared to all my other employees, it was larger and I knew that it would be able to make a significant impact if added to my workforce. It was a tough negotiation. We went back and forth discussing the terms of employment. But eventually, it backed off to think about it more. I was devastated. Disheartened, I decided to head back to my base. On my way back, I heard this glittery sound. Thinking I stumbled upon some great treasure, I had to investigate. When I found the source of the sound, I was shocked to find a giant sparkly Foxparks. I had to recruit this Foxparks, especially with the knowledge of my previous failure weighing down on me. It was another tough negotiation. It almost wiped me out with its arguments. But I managed to hold firm and sway the Foxparks onto my side. Triumphant, I returned to my base to share my success with the others.